Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Y'all want to see what I have going on in my little Living Foods kitchen? I just sprouted some sunflower seeds, some peas, buckwheat, and barley for barley grass. And I'm going to go ahead and plant them to make greens out of them. Here's the sunflower. Here's the barley. Then we have the peas there, and then we have the buckwheat. Okay. So what I did, I'll show you the sunflower. I took about 2 cups of the sunflower seeds. Now these are the seeds that have the little shells on them. Okay. So I put them in the jar, 2 cups. Soak them overnight in water, and you got to make sure that you fill up the jar, pretty well with water. And then the next day, I drain the water out, and then I let them sprout. I guess it's been about 2 days, I guess, they've been sprouting, maybe 3. And then now the little tails are coming out. You can kind of see them. Hold on. Can you see that? Okay, well, it is pouring down outside over here. I love the sound of the rain. Okay, so what I did, I filled up my trays with my organic soil. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my this little fertilizer I use. It's azomite powder, and I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it in there. You're pretty much going to do it the same way as all the other microgreens. You fill up the tray the same way, you put the soil in there. The only difference really is that on the bigger seeds, like your sunflower and the buckwheat and the wheat, you have to let them sprout a little bit first before you plant them. Well, at least I do. You let them sprout first. You have to soak them, then sprout them, and then you can go ahead and put them in on the soil. Okay, but I'm just going to sprinkle this on here. And like I said in my previous video, I don't really measure this. I just kind of put it on there. Get that out the way. Okay, so now I'm just going to kind of blend it in there, just like this. And then I'm going to pack it down just a little, just to kind of give it a flat surface, for the seeds to go on. Okay. And just like that. And then next, I'll just do the 2 trays. Okay. So we have, I labeled them already. So the sunflower's in the middle. So now, I normally just water them by my sink. I have the big former sink, and I use the little, hose on them. But I thought, well, let me do it at the table to kind of have a little bit more room. So I brought my big little watering pitcher in, but here we go. So I'm just going to water it down. This is not working. Okay. Alright. It's a lot of water that comes out of there. Okay. So now you're going to take your seeds. It works better to water if you have like a little spray thing, or like I said, the little hose on my sink over there. So then it's like gushing out like I just did with the big bucket I had. Okay, so now I'm going to lay these on here. And with the sunflower also, you don't want them to be on top of each other. You want them to just be kind of touching. Just go ahead and do it this way. Get them all out of there. spread them. Like this. Now, you know, for me, that I think the two main things that has kept me raw, so to speak, is the living foods, all the sprouting that I do, and the wheatgrass, the barley grass. And the other thing is the mental side of it. You know, you really have to do a lot of mental work, you know, to kind of, like I said in the previous video, you have to kind of rewire up in here, you know, how you look at things, how you look at food. You know, you really do. And that does take a little bit of time. But between that and all the sprouting, those are the two main things that has really kept me raw, you know, because originally when I first went raw, before I started all the sprouting and everything, you know, it wasn't the same. I didn't feel that same vitality, you know, and I would kind of go back and forth there for a little while. But then when I added in all the sprouting and really did the mental work with it, along with it, that's when everything started to change for me, you know, to really become a lifestyle and not just, you know, willpower. And I hate the word willpower, but I've been told before, oh, you know, well, sure, you eat that way because you must have willpower, you know, you must have willpower. I'm like, it really isn't about the whole willpower thing. It isn't. You know, for me, willpower would be if you're looking at something and you're like, oh, gosh, I want to eat that so bad. I just want it so bad. And you resist and you don't eat it. That's willpower, okay? A lifestyle is when you're looking at something and you know you used to eat that, but it's just not you anymore. You know, you've evolved to where you're totally past that. It's in your past and you just don't even want it anymore. You know, that's where all that mental work came in from. You know, so that's not willpower. That's when you get to that point, you're truly living the lifestyle. When you can sit there and sit with other people eating and it doesn't bother you whatsoever. Okay? But anyway, so we have all the seeds laid out here. Okay? And then, so I would go back and water them down again. So I'm not going to use the big pitcher again and spill everywhere again. But I'll go back and I'll take my little hose and I'll just kind of briefly go over it again. All right? And so I'm going to take the top tray. It's just another tray, but without the hose. So I guess it really doesn't matter. And then now I'm just going to take it and I'm going to set it aside. And what's going to happen? I wish I had one that the greens were peeking up. But whenever this starts to push up the tray a little bit, then that's when I'll take the tray off and then I'll start letting it green. Okay, and that normally takes about, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 days, I guess, before that happens. It doesn't take long at all. And then I'll let it sun, and then I'll take I like to let them go to about 10 days before I start cutting them, just like on the other greens that I grow, the little tiny microgreens. Now, here's the barley. Now, the barley grass isn't hard to grow at all. It really isn't. So if you're trying to grow wheatgrass right now and you're having a lot of problems with it, maybe do barley for a little while until you kind of just get in the routine of things, you know, to do it, and then go back to the wheatgrass, you know, because I know the wheatgrass is a little bit finicky and it can mold on you. But the barley, it doesn't tend to do that unless you leave it sitting in water for some reason. You know, if you could get to check your drain tray, you know, then it'll mold on. But just like the same with the sunflower, I'm going to put it on the tray. Now, on the barley and on the wheat, I only use about 1.5 cups of seeds for these. Because I find, especially with the wheatgrass, you have to watch, because if you put too many on there, they'll mold on you. So you kind of have to watch how much you use. But I'm just going to kind of separate them. Some of the little tails are attached to each other. But just take your time, especially with the grasses. You know, take your time to kind of spread them out. Make sure they're all, stand up and do it, that they're just touching, they're not all piled up on each other. And it's just about getting in a routine with this. You know, sprouting, it really isn't hard at all. You know, growing the microgreens and doing the jar sprouts, it really isn't hard. It's just about getting into a routine so that you're constantly having, you know, your greens coming up, you know. Because, man, it sure is aggravating whenever you run short and then you're out for a couple of days, or run low for a couple of days, you know, when you used to be eating them every day. So you just get a little routine going. What I like to do, like I'll plant these today, I'm going to put the lid on it. Hold on. I'll put the lid on it. And then when it comes time to take the top lid off, when it starts pushing it up, then I'll go ahead and I'll put more seed soaking for the grasses and for the sunflower too. That's normally how I do it. And then for the rest of them, like all the other microgreens I have, I normally do that about once a week. I'll just, like around Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, I'll pick a day and I'll plant all the trays. Just kind of depends with the grandkids, and you know, things get kind of hectic around here, but so we always make it work. Okay, so let me show y'all. You see, just kind of spread them out real good. It's not too many seeds. They're not, you know, all packed on top of each other. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it to the sink. Well, let's bring this into the sink so y'all can see, okay? All right. My good video skills, huh? Okay. So I'm going to turn this on. And I'm just going to, now that's better than that big old picture. All right. Just like this. Okay. And that's it. And you can see they're just really moist and not all muddy and stuff, you know, just enough water to really wet them down good. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top tray and put it over it. And when it starts pushing it up, just like on the other ones, and I'll take the lid off. We'll just kind of push it up. Once the grass starts coming up, and then you take the lid off, and then you let them green. And then you let them grow for about 7 to 10 days, and then you can start cutting it to juice. But that's it. All right. If y'all have any questions, just leave me a comment down below. And I hope y'all come see me again next time. Bye.